et cetera, et cetera. So that opens up some space for some other ones. The big problem is the way that we're approaching the cemeteries just doesn't work. Um, for instance, if you wanted to do a form for Southeastern Cemetery, we could do that by simply saying there's X number of graves, X number of veterans. Here are the famous people buried, and we don't have to do individual inventory forms for any of the stones because none of them were before 1830. I went back and looked at all the handwritten ones from the olden days. And if you go down to the old burying ground, Cynthia Drake Cemetery, there's over 30 important headstones there and almost as many in the Lieutenant John Williams thing. So we may not want to add anything beyond what
those two. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll have that for you tomorrow as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think because we have 4 cemeteries and up to 60 stones.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can probably bang out a couple of cemeteries as just here are the cemeteries, and then
there's a lot more. There's a lot more old stones than you might think in town.
Not really. I think there's a ton of them, and I think something focused on really doing a proper inventory of all the cemeteries might be a useful thematic thing to do in future years.
Could I make a suggestion? I think I did it in an email, which is maybe we can make that a town project to take volunteers to visit cemeteries for the tricentennial. It's an easy.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
The historical commission is meeting next Wednesday on Zoom, and we have the other items not anticipated. If you want to show up and just pitch that as a concept.
Okay.
And I see it's already 7:02. So.
And Tom has joined us.
Tom has arrived. Are you guys meeting on Wednesdays now?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The Deep Dark Background Secret is one of the members has a summer softball league on Tuesdays. So.
Stephanie, you there?
I am here.
You know what? I lost you. So I'm going to leave and join again.
You're here. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, you're all good.
Yeah, we can see you.
We can see you. Can you not see us?
I can't see you.
Is it just
It's
Stephanie,
not
or can you
me.
see the rest of
Ed.
us?
I didn't do anything. All right. Poor Tom.
Okay, go.
All good. No, all good. Look, headstones is riveting conversation.
Really?
People are dying to hear it.
Right? You knew that was coming. Boom, boom. So folks, we have, I know we have quorum, which is great and why I held a meeting. But we have certainly a lot less than the 9 people that are present. Thankfully, we don't have any heavy business. Just if we did have heavy business, honestly, I'd want more of the team to be present just so that they could have the opportunity to share their views. But I think really tonight is just an update meeting. We first of all have to announce that we are under remote meeting procedures. So this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board commission members will be remote. Remote attendance shall count toward quorum. The meeting may be broadcast live and will be recorded on ECAT. And just going around the horn so we can take attendance, Jim Lee.
Here.
John Francesco.
Here.
Al Benson.
Here.
Ed Hands.
Here.
Dennis Sheedy.
Here.
And Tom Broussard is also present. Good, I think I did the right housekeeping thing. Amanda was probably just jumping at the phone because she sensed something was awry and was going to get me onto the right path of reading off the remote meeting procedures. So I guess tonight we just have the minutes, just a discussion, I guess, about appointments and expiring terms. Real quick update on the pickleball courts. And then just application or potential projects that I think either Stephanie or Wayne may have come across in their travels or anybody on the team has as well. For the minutes, unless anybody had any objections, if they do, feel free to raise a hand. Otherwise, I'll take a motion to accept the May 11th, 2023 regular session minutes.
So moved.
Second.
That is Ventresco by a hair. So Ed, and then seconded by Ventresco by a hair. Jim Lee,
Aye.
Ventresco,
Aye.
Al,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Dennis.
Aye.
Broussard is an aye as well. So we take care of that. In terms of representative appointments, say that 15 times fast. So we have Conservation, Historical Planning, Recreation, Housing Authority. So Dennis, you're here. So are the appointments done, Wayne and Stephanie, by all the respective committees and boards, or are we still waiting for some of them to get back to us?
I don't know, this could be a, update us. So the update from the Historical Commission is that, yes, John Ventresco was renominated for another year, so congratulations, John, thank you for your service. And I think at the last meeting, Dennis was saying that he was anticipating a housing trust meeting, I'm sorry, a housing authority meeting?
Housing Authority, yep, I was appointed at the May meeting. I just need to be sworn in before the July meeting, I believe.
Actually, myself also.
Awesome. Dennis, great to have you back. Same thing with you, John.
And the
John,
planning board, I think we have this on our agenda for the 26th.
excellent. June 26th, so we'll
Yeah.
have it by next July. Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so Al,
I'll be reappointed, I believe, on the July meeting. It's July 10th on the Conservation Committee meeting.
perfect.
They normally replace officers and board appointments as of the first meeting in the new year.
Awesome. Ed, I assume you re-upped and submitted your application?
I did that, and I did it on the same day that I applied for another position, so I'm double checking to make sure the computer was paying attention, so.
Nice. Same here. Steph, what, do you know when that will come before the select board for Ed and
I believe it's on the 26th.
Perfect, great. So that takes care of the expiring terms. I also re-upped, honestly, first of all, it's a great team. I think we make an incredible impact on the community, so real lucky to have the good fortune to be here. Certainly is a lot easier and usually more fun than the select board experience, so I can be fully transparent on that. On the pickleball courts, Stephanie, thank you so much for your help last week in working to confirm that we have placed the order for the noise reducing sheeting, netting, whatever we call it, that goes in the fences. It's 6 to 8 weeks out. I did reach out to Connor to ask him to make it a topic of his one-on-one with Dave Fields so that when it does arrive, we can work towards making sure we can expeditiously install it. So he committed to talking to Dave, and of course, all things being equal, which means the DPW has a lot of meaningful projects going on. So the fact that they're keeping it on their radar screens appreciated, and that they'll try to make it a priority when the time comes and the product comes in.
Tom?
Yes, ma'am.
Just one thing about that. So Todd Texera went out and visited Mashpee, where they have installed those. And he had estimated a certain number of supports. And these supports actually are at our right angle to the fence, and it holds the fence up. So if you have, so in our case, we're going to have 3 sides covered, which is what they had in Mashpee. And what the supports are for is if you get a strong gust of wind, they are flexible, but Todd referred to them as panels. They're totally non-porous, so the wind won't go through them. So that's what the supports are, and they had a lot more supports installed than they communicated to him when he talked with them. So he's going to need to order some more. I believe the amount that the board approved for this was $39,000. 50,000. Okay, all right.
We put in room.
Yeah, and so the amount is just under 32,000 for the panels, and he estimates 5, maybe 8,000 for the supports.
So we were good at 50 and he came under on the product, added back more supports for safety and structure, and we're back on budget.
Yes, you should still be under, yeah.
Good. Mr. Hands? I saw a hand.
I noticed that when Wayne put up his $50,000 sign, it was 05. So I put up my left hand to see if, yeah, it reverses the screen. I never knew
Good
that
call.
about Zoom.
Good call, Ed. I think Ed just did sign language for your sign language, Wayne. I just interpreted that correctly. As a team, we get there. As a team, we get there. All right, Steph, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that update. Let us know if, team, just so that you know, Michael Duffy reached out to me via an email, asked me for a status update, which is why the team did a great job updating me on a status last week. I did let Mr. Duffy know that we have asked questions like, can we expedite this? Can we make this happen any faster? And the team has done asked all those questions, done a good job, and regrettably, it's 6 to 8 weeks out. He being Mr. Duffy also asked about whether or not the rec commission could engage regarding the hours. And I have spoken with Meredith, and I'll be forwarding her the email so that the rec commission can engage as a committee and then entertain discussion on Mr. Duffy's request as to whether or not it really is or is not and should or should not be dawn to dusk. Any other updates on the Unionville Field pickleball courts closeout?
Yes, I guess I should point out here that the parking area that we paid for is inadequate, and folks are parking on the basketball court and actually on the grass of the fields.
Still, and I know we heard that when Mr. Duffy joined us. So I guess what we should need to do is to think about, I'm assuming that's technically a rec commission discussion. And so if it's okay with the team, I'll add that to my email to Meredith for consideration by the rec commission to address. And maybe it's additional signage, gating off, roping off, so on and so forth. Thank you, Ed, for bringing that up. I'm just making a note on that.
Just for curiosity, what would another wall cost? Ed, do you have any idea? Do you remember?
Oh, you mean
I'm sorry.
to put them completely in a like a box?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
The parking lot or
No,
Another wall, yeah.
the pickleball area, more panels to.
got it? Probably.
Completely enclose them.
Yeah, if it's 32K for goods, John, for 3, you're talking 10, 5 each. So probably looking at another 10 grand-ish, 10 to 11.
Might be something to consider in another year. Let's give it a chance.
I agree.
How we're doing.
Sounds good.
I mean, you
Appreciate
can't
that.
say the town is getting their money's worth. Every time I go by there, it's packed.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's heartwarming and exciting to see when you expel that kind of money and it actually works.
Rumor has it that
Instantaneously.
there
Yeah, you're right.
a number of people coming from out of town because we're one of the best facilities around.
Well,
How my business mind just went to, can we charge out of town people?
Yeah,
Can we turn this into a revenue?
you know, that, when we first talked about this, Ann Daly talked about reserving, so I guess they used to reserve the tennis court, that's what it sounded like, when it was used as pickleball courts, and there was a small fee that they charged to
Interesting.
reserve the court. So I don't know what the appetite is for the current.
well, depending on usage in the future, it might be something to consider.
Yeah, and I don't know how you control that, but they do that on Boston Commons, the fields out there. You have to have a permit to use them, and people will show up, you know, people will go out and they'll kick someone off because they have evidence of their permit.
If we ever do seriously want to consider recommending that to the rec commission, we should talk to the school department because they do rent their fields.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's certainly something we could kick around at a future meeting when we have the team. I could certainly see the other side I was thinking of the out of towners, and certainly full transparency there, only because in theory the residents of the town have already paid for their
Paid
rent.
for it, yep. And if you were charging fees, Tom, you could certainly charge a higher fee for out-of-towners.
You could. Love the revenue generating ideas. Sorry, John, I cut you off.
No, not at all. You know, it's something to consider because if you've got out of towners, you know, packing the courts and citizens can't use it, I mean,
Yeah,
it's common sense. But again, play it out and see how it goes.
agreed. Next up on the agenda is applications. So Stephanie or Wayne, is there any updates or letters of interest that have been received yet to date that we should be aware of?
We've gotten no letters of interest yet. We've had a couple of meetings and phone calls. So things we are expecting, but you know, further updates as events warrant and as things come in. The Affordable Housing Trust for their 10%. Swifts Park construction. The library needs to replace the roof, they believe. I understood from talking with Meredith and Joe Pitty that REC may be interested in applying for a comprehensive plan to redo all of Unionville Field and look at it comprehensively. The Conservation Commission may apply for small things if they're eligible. I understand signage might be part of that. And the Children's Museum is contemplating a size of, you know, what their scope might be. They have a suite of needs, and they're considering what their institutional capacity might be, and you know how they could, you know, phase or tackle the various things they need done.
I was actually approached by a member of the board from the Friends of Borderland in regards to an HVAC system. I told them that I just one person, but we didn't have too good a luck with the Smith House and being on state property, even though it's in Easton. I said, you know what, the best thing to do is send in the application and see what happens, but it's a tough one.
So where would they be installing the system, John? The name, Blanche James?
In the Borderland Mansion.
Right. Oh,
They've needed it for a long time, but state doesn't have the funds, and so they're trying to find another avenue. But to digress a tiny bit, if we have the time, I mean, I haven't heard anything about the Smith House lately, and we had expelled quite a bit of money just a short time ago, it seems. Has anyone heard any updates on that? Nothing's been dead quiet. Yeah.
Who's the applicant? I'll tell you what, if it's okay, John, what I'll do is I'll work with Stephanie and Wayne to reach out to the applicant and ask them for an update and then to attend a CPC meeting depending upon that conversation.
You're talking about the Smith House? The Smith House?
Yeah.
Yeah, because to check in, I don't know if they've used all the funds. I'm not even sure. I know there was some issues.
I think they did, right, Wayne? They used everything that was,
Yeah, I don't think there's
They
much
fin-
left from
yeah,
the 2
they
grants.
finished up
Yeah.
the work.
They were paid after the work was done. You know, we paid the contractors directly. So I don't think of the CPA work, funded work, there's outstanding stuff to be done. I think all the CPA funded stuff is finished.
Okay, good.
Just looking at their website. Looks like May 20 and 21st is the last letter. We had yoga and Tai Chi on Saturday and Sunday. Assuming that's 2023 rather. So yeah, I think that's a great call, John. I think we should probably do some due diligence around a lot of our projects to just check in where needed. And that's certainly something we can take a look at in terms of the project list. Wayne, and Steph. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll start picking a few and putting them on future agendas to give the team an update on what's going on and where.
Yep. Wayne, just a thought, because we've talked about this in the past and it seems that other more important things always come up. Maybe we should just kind of plan them out and put them on upcoming agendas, and then you and I can get in touch with the applicants. So it's on there and we don't forget that we keep meaning to do this.
So similar to having the templates that just kind of we replicate through the folders,
Yeah,
pre-fill them in, and so they're just like every meeting we're kind of expecting somebody, or every other, or something like that.
does that sound reasonable, Tom?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Other than that, so that's a good update. Wayne, Steph, let's stay close on the letters of interest. And I don't have any items that were not reasonably anticipated at this point. I do think once we get our new committee members, if there are new committee members joining, settled, so probably next meeting, at that point, one of the things that I believe is a little bit still hanging out there is we have a lot of executive session minutes from quite a while ago. Half the matter was resolved, and the other half is, again, something I just haven't heard much about, John. So I think it's time to kick the tires on that. And once we have the new committee, that'll be a good chance to figure out who's doing what in terms of some of those matters from the executive session. So that's it. Unless the team has anything, I'll take a motion to adjourn and call it a very quick 21-minute but valuable meeting.
That kind of,
Second,
I don't know who that was. Who wants the credit?
that was
Dennis?
Dennis.
Who seconded?
I did, Ed Hands.
Excellent. Dennis, Ed, round the horn. Jim?
Aye.
Don?
I,
Al?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
Tom Broussard's and I. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in. Are we all good for July? Do we want to meet July 13th? And is that okay? I feel like it's not around July 4th, which is a pretty popular week.
is that our next meeting schedule? I was gonna look.
July 13th.
It's a, yeah.
Thursday, July 13th, 7 p.m. Yeah.
Fine with me.
Fine with me. So far.
Me too.
All right,
Thank you.
good. We'll do it then.
Okay.
All right, team. I'll see you then. Till then, stay safe.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Night.